Hi all and welcome to Red Rusty Barbecue, where we're going to look at the new Monolith Classic Pro Series 2 today. Going to do some unboxing and show you what comes in the box and what accessories we get set up, and hopefully then run through some different grill setups and things like that. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we have our Classic Pro Series 2 Monolith boxed and just off the lorry. Comes in with nice, well strapped and secured, although I've released the straps just for bring it in for ease of access here. So first off, whenever we lift off the lid, we have a few accessories which I've already taken out a few of, packed round, and also the actual main dome of the barbecue is full of the inner workings of the barbecue, so you'll see that shortly. But this is the red version. Obviously we have also comes in the black version, and as you can see there's a few accessories in the background. Okay, so we've the box taken off the Monolith Classic Pro Series 2, and first things I noticed certainly is the upgraded thermometer there. It's larger in size, so probably pretty much easier to read. We work down, we see the chip loader there for putting in and out our wood pellets. It's nice easy entry then, so you don't need to open and close to add more wood pellets, and I'll run through that later. Bottom air vent ready to go. And I suppose changes to the new upgraded series there. The second thing that I noticed there is the gasket has completely changed on the Pro Classic 2 compared to the 1. Brand new sort of stainless steel gasket compared to the old felt model, and I'm led to believe that that gives much greater advantage and much preferable, less heat loss. And then round the side there we have an entry port for the guru again, which is new to the Classic Series 2. Used to be an optional extra. And then round the back there seems to be an upgrade on the hinge system, and I can definitely feel, from compared to the Classic 1 over there, I can definitely feel that we have a lot easier lifting up and down of the unit itself. It seems to spring open, so that's definitely really effective straight away. Really pleased with that one. And onto the accessories there, we have the bamboo tables that accompany on the sides. We have the charcoal basket there, the fire ring, and then the individual expandable firebox segments, and there's 5 of those that come there, which make up the unit. There we have the final upgrade from the Pro Series 1 to the 2. It is the new top temperature mount unit, and completely different design. Obviously, if you're familiar with the old model, it had the daisy wheel, which tended to get a little bit clogged with smoke. This one looks as if it's going to be much more effective, a lot more temperature control and less likely to gunge up. As I said, it looks like it's a great upgrade. Got our user manual, obviously, a front handle, a ash collector, and there is the chip dispenser there, so that goes into the front. You load up your chips, and then it has a handy little clip around the back here, so whenever you have your chips sitting over your ash basket, you can release that and then release the chips without being concerned about burning your hands or things. I find that quite useful for the Monolith chips, smoking chips for hickory and whatnot. This sits over our ash. This is our final ash collection, and here we have the grill grate lifter there, and finally we have the legs for the stand there. So try and get these all together and see how we go. So just to complete what comes in our package, we have the smart grid system, which we'll look into a little bit further shortly enough. You have the stainless steel grills, the drip pan, and the half moon deflectors in there. And then the Pro Series firebox, which I will put together. That's where our fire segments go. And then obviously your ash collection area at the bottom. Okay, so just to let you know how I've approached this, because it can be a bit tricky, and unfortunately I'm by myself today. I don't have any help. Really, this is very much a two-person job. I have removed, there is 4 hinges at the back of the unit there that connect to the lid, and I have just removed those for ease of assembly today. Makes it obviously much easier to handle with 2 pieces in one, much less heavy. Means I can build a stand with the feet and then place the larger unit inside again. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to place these down here. I find this the easiest way to put together the legs here, and a really handy tip that I picked up was that these are actually supposed to go at the front, the ones with the stoppers. Makes it much easier for handling your barbecue whenever you're wanting to move it around. I made that mistake with my last grill, put one on either side, and it didn't really work quite right, and I could never work out why. So first things first, you get your case cover stopper, and that needs to go on here, just ready for whenever the leg gets attached, then you can bring it down easily. And then it just goes to the threads up through here, and then twists on, and once you're on, it should go in easily enough. So as I say, the 2 of these at the front. Part. Lined up at the front, obviously. Don't want to be lifting that too many times, it's pretty heavy. And as I say, it probably should be a 2-man job, but not an option for me today, so just make sure you have everything inside sitting square on there and you're happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is just reattach the lid, and it was only 4 screws just to take that off, but it made the world of difference being able to lift that, and I'm out of breath doing it even. So I'll come back to you whenever we've got the lid on. Okay, so these are the 4 nuts that I removed to be able to separate the lid and the lid and the base of the main ceramic unit. Goes on easily enough there. Just make sure it's sitting flush before you attach, and you do that just by pushing down on this bit. Might need it again, a 2-person job just to do that. Okay, so fitting the handles pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Again, you have 2 nuts here, so just a case of loosening those and putting them in on top. I'm going to leave the washers flush against the stainless steel there just to protect it. And fit. And washers on. Make sure you've got your Monolith sign up the right way around, obviously. Okay, the wrench is supplied, so you don't need to worry about it, but it's a size 10 wrench for all these Monolith nuts for securing there. So. Go. Okay, so we've got to pop on our sides here. We've got our 2 tables that just go along the side, and they slot in really handily. Easiest way to insert them is just to keep them upright in between the 2 holes there, and they slide in nicely. Go. and the same on the other side. There we go, so we're looking pretty good. Got our 2 tables in, handle on. Also fitted the lid vent. It's really simple, so just literally there's pre-insulation foam there, stop any smoke gaps, and you're just lining up the front, the Monolith sign, and across it goes there, and just sits there. So great job, just give it a good push down, make sure it's well secured in. And there you go. We're able just to adjust that as we need it, as the throttle and brake, as they say, throttle and brake. So the next part I want to think about assembling is the firebox. Okay, so talked there earlier about it coming in 5 parts. You have obviously the main steel unit with the ash collection, but around that you can see there we have 5 compartments, all based for these individually pieced pieces of ceramic. So we're going to get those set up. I'll show you how that happens. Set this down so I'm going to get recording. Never mind the messes hanging out the washing. Okay, so we're set up for the firebox. We're going to get these 5 individual pieces put together now. The reason they're in these 5 individual pieces is reasonably straightforward. These are the pieces that get the warmest, and we need to allow for expansion. So we have our blocks together, and they sit nestle just sitting just nicely there. That allows for any expansion when they heat up. There's no crack as such. Just to go alternate, balance a little bit of weight. There we go. Piece should fit in nicely here. There you go. Okay, there we are. So at this point I take this across and place it into the main base of the ceramic unit, and then obviously we have the fire ring that needs to sit just flush on top of that. Big thing to pay attention to is this little gap here, because you need to align this up with the chip feeder. If you get that wrong, you'll be wondering why on earth you can't feed chips in mid-cook, and that'll be the reason. It's usually because this isn't just aligned up, so I'll show you that as we go in. Okay, so again, really important to have the feeder system. You see it there, the ash collection system pointing out the right way. So I realize it possibly might have been a wee bit easier just to fill the firebox in there, but it's going up. There's just enough room for my hands there. So what I'm looking for down at the bottom vent here is to make sure I can place my ash pan collector here, so you can just make a slight adjustment just to make it round. So it's easy enough to get your ash pan collector in and lined up there. We'll bring you just down to see that. So there you are, you want that to be just sitting square on, so it's dead easy to put in your ash collector just to clean out the grate there. Next up comes the charcoal collector. Just protects the large pieces from going there. It means only the smaller pieces of ash are able to go down. Really important just to make sure that is well cleared whenever you're cooking, obviously, and also these gaps here, just making sure they're not filling up with ash. That's why having a good little sweep every now and then is good, just to make sure the airflow is totally optimal through your Kamado, because your air is obviously coming in the air inlet through all these gaps, and up through, and that's what generates the good heat. If it's too clogged up, you won't get as good efficiency. It stands to reason. Okay, and on with the fire ring. So I'm going to insert this and I'll bring you over just to see how I've done it. Again, said there before, needs to align this area here, needs to align very carefully just with here for the chip entry. So we want to be able that to be nice and clear. I'm just going to pop this down. It's a bit tricky, you almost need to use it inside of your hands so there's enough room for your fingers too. Just be wary of that one. And then bring you over just to see that, it's important. Just to make sure it's lined up with the chip feeder so that you're able to place your chips when you need to. Again, nice and clear. That's what you're looking for. So it means basically you come along with your smoking chips, can enter them in there and they're hitting straight down to where your hot charcoal is. And the smart grid system reflects that as well. Or the charcoal basket, I should say. It also has a little gap there, so that's the next thing that we're going to be popping over. We'll bring that across. We're good to go. There we are. I'm just lining that up again. Again, just making sure our feeder has that space. Charcoal divider here, and you can use obviously half a basket or a full basket, whatever works for you for that particular cook. So all starting to look pretty close to getting ready to go. And the next thing we have to bring in is our smart grid. So as I said there earlier, we have our lifters. It always takes me a while to work out how to use these, but I'm thinking of getting the hang of them now. So each attaches on that side, and it means you can use those and you don't need to worry about putting gloves on and off and whatnot if you're needing to lift the whole smart grid out at any time. Okay, so just down, we'll get a quick video of how that slots in. You can lift it like that. Again, just going to set that on top. And good. There we are. So pretty close to being ready to grill, if we so please. And it's always nice to spend a bit of time looking at the lovely shiny ceramic, because it's after a couple of cooks, that's the last time it'll be quite so clean. And it starts to build up like the last grill. So there we have it, two absolutely beautiful Monolith grills. One is the Pro Series Classic 1, and then the newer Pro Series Classic 2. Number of differences, one of them being this one is really dirty, this one is spotlessly clean. But actually it's interesting even me just lifting those two lids there, because it really demonstrates the advance in the hinge and the gasket system, because one, it's really like night and day actually lifting, much heavier and a much easier, smoother lift, and quite comfortable just to bring it back down there. It's a little bit springier and bouncier, so they've done a really good job with that. You see there the dials, as I was saying, much bigger dial size on the upgraded Classic 2. The air inlet, or the top inlet there, or outlet, sorry I should say, much changed, much easier, a bit more streamlined. Looks as if it's much easier to use compared to the older daisy wheel there, which you can see there is a little bit clogged and can get a wee bit tacky and sticky. Usually settles once you've heated the grill there, but you can see the issue there was getting gunged up with smoke and grease from the food and things. So big improvement there. The chip system remains the same. We ran through that. The air inlet at the bottom looks pretty similar. Didn't need any tinkering there. We have the Guru adaptation at the side there, which the classic Pro Series 1 did not have. And then, as I say, the hinge there at the back. Again, definitely an upgrade being done there between the two of them, and it seems to make a massive difference. So hope you've enjoyed the coverage and content, and I'm going to be putting together a lot more cooking videos and demonstrations to show you what these Monolith can do. Be nice to be able to have a couple of options of different setups across the smart grids, so we can be cooking different things different times. So look forward to catching up with you soon.